Alright, ready to go in the morning? Hey peeps, it's Andercon playing Accidental Let's Play server. Oh. So I'm going to show you today a very good house to make, a mushroom house. Sure, it's an old concept from a long time ago, but it's kind of overlooked frequently. So you notice this one right here. It very much resembles one of the first houses I made in my very first season of YouTubing. And even some of the signs. And of course, punching trees always gives me wood. Oh yeah! So I'm going to show you a little bit about growing yourself a mushroom house and how to spruce it up a little bit. Well, I would show you how to spruce one up, but actually I don't think spruce grows around here, so I'll probably have to birch one up instead. So, anyhow, to get started, well, usually there's trouble with placing a mushroom down outside any old place. You have to have a spot prepared for it now. You have to have at least this much area somewhere above it, pretty much covered up from the sky, otherwise it will not grow. For instance, if I have this block missing right there, I won't be able to place this thing down anywhere at all. So just put that one tongue. I had to do that. This one block back, and then it'll place down just fine. Of course, you're also going to have to bone meal it. So this is a 6 block gap from the floor to the top of that. And this will usually give you a little bit of a 1 block gap between the ground and the mushroom. And these things are real fragile as well, especially with axes. Now, if you use your hand, it's not as bad, but you have to be a little bit careful. If you have a creeper come by and blow up your house, you're going to have to regrow it, which often means taking everything out of it entirely in order to regrow. So let's go ahead and get rid of this, and I'll show you a couple little tricks on this. This is a 6 block gap, but if you want one stuck like right on the ground, you can just use a 5 block gap like that. And you're going to have a hole. And stick your mushroom in the hole and grow right there. And it's going to be dark. I get a torch. There we go. And there you got a little bit of an instant house. Just break down a door, slap an actual door on it, and you're good to go. There you go. Mushroom house. You might want to break down the dirt and stuff though. But there's some other little tricks here I'll show you about what you can do with this. If you don't really want to build one of these dirt caps on the top, you can actually use some trees. For instance, you could use acacia here. You're just going to have to break down some of it. So let me get rid of some of this real quick. As long as I get the first 6 blocks out of the way, it should be fine. And probably break some of these leaves. Alright, this should work, and I'll just get rid of some of this. A little bit more of this. Is that enough? Might be enough, let's see. Okay, that'll work for that. I may need to break a couple more of these just to make sure I got enough room on the side. Alright, let's try this. There we go. So acacia will work just fine. So note that you don't have to have solid blocks for everything, like the rest of this one is made out of. You can actually use leaves, except for the very center. You have to have a solid block above the center. I don't know why that is, but that's just the way it is. Pretty weird, isn't it? Like, let me get this mess out of the way, and let me try to stick a leaf anywhere, or in the leaf, mushroom. Okay, well, it actually does sometimes work. It ain't working right here. It'll work here. Maybe it's because they're 2 thick right there instead of 1 thick. Strange mechanics it goes by. So anyway, let me run over here, bust this one down real quick, and then we'll work on the decorating. Oh, my axe! It just crapped out. Let's see. I wonder if anything else works good. Not really. No. Guess axe is the best thing for it. Oh, this might take a moment. Just had to keel over right the worst time. Go ahead and get rid of this block there. So if you look over at my house right there, I got some white birch as the bottom. Kind of looks like a baseboard to me. Actually looks fairly good that way. There's a handful of different things you could try for that to make it still look good. And we're going to try out a few of those. Let me just stick another piece of dirt down here. There we go. Put that there, and go ahead and grow this. Come on, grow. You can grow. There we go. Alright, so let's call that the door. And let's see, so obviously birch looks pretty good, and I'll have to go get myself another axe. So birch looks pretty good this way. Yeah, it definitely looks good. Let me grab an axe real quick. Now, strangely enough, guess we have two doors here. Strangely enough, I think gravel works pretty good as well. Let's go ahead and slap down some gravel here. And this was what was around the bottom of my house originally. I just switched it out. So the particular color of gravel actually does work out fairly decent. Maybe not the best. Not everybody likes gravel. I got a friend that absolutely despises gravel and wishes it was completely taken out of the game. I think he literally went through the trouble of changing his texture pack so gravel looked completely different than it normally does. Okay, let's try some oak, straight oak actually. And I think anything brown or gray tends to look pretty good as well. So that looks fairly good, but I don't know, for some reason the color contrast is a bit high in some weird manner. It just doesn't seem right to me. But it may look good to you, I don't know. Let's try something else entirely. Get rid of some of this mess. Alright, and let's try acacia. This one is my favorite. So I like the look of acacia under a mushroom. So in my opinion, this was one of the best, strangely enough. I like the color. It's a bit more muted and not as brown as the oak. It's a lot more gray. But I don't know. Just looks good to me. So anyway, I'm going to show you how to grow like two of these mushrooms fairly close together, like these ones are right here. Note there's only a 2-block gap here, and actually that's because the walls are busted out of the middle anyway. And that's pretty much all the closer you can make that, to be honest. You can't really get it any closer than that. So let's try see if I can get it to work here or not. I'm going to use some dark oak and see if I can grow a tree here or not. Let's see. Yep, that worked. And pop the bottom 6 up to about that high. Then I'll have to go up top and break down the rest of the tree and the dirt and stuff, but oh well, it'll work. It's probably going to get dark soon. And I got a little bit of daylight left. It's not too bad. And you can get a little bit extra wood out of this in the process. There we go. Okay, so you have to have 4-block gaps. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Stick your mushroom right here, supposedly. I just happen to have some a non-solid block there, so put this here. Just my luck. It wasn't quite big enough on the side. Let me just do a bit of this. Maybe that'll work. There we go. There we go. That worked. Get rid of that. And there we go. Just break these right here, and you'll be able to have yourself a house. As long as you fill in all the extras. Let's try dark wood real quick. That one went in crooked. Alright. And of course you want to have a nice floor in here somewhere too. I'm going to go ahead and make this solid. I've got to change out all the different types of wood I got in here. There we go. Put in my dark wood. Alright. And you're going to want a bunch of glass or something or other. That way you don't have zombies creeping in on you and things, and a bunch of spiders dropping in on your head at night. Now, on that house over there, I got the door right here, and it's a double door. On this particular one, it's right here instead. So I'll just slap down a wooden door right there. And of course, you'd want to change out this floor to something better. And be really careful with the axe, or you're going to do that. So this is just a demonstration house anyhow, so it doesn't really matter. So you get a 3 by, let's see, this is going to be 6, 7, 8, a 3 by 8 block house. It's kind of like a single wide house. It's not that bad. It works. Just may not be enough for some people. It works good for an initial house, like a very beginning house. And actually looks fairly stylish. I've made a handful of these in my time. So you can put in the windows in a bunch of different ways. You can have just short ones like this. You can have a 2 tall. A 3 tall may even work okay too. Let's go ahead and try that just to see how that looks for a change, because I wanted to try that. Alright. I'll have to get rid of the junk on the top, but 3 tall on the windows looks fairly decent. Goes along with that mess. And of course there's a whole lot more you can do with it. Fill out the inside, stick in a basement, decorate the outside and everything. So I've actually got a spare one of these houses I built. I'm going to look into show you. You can actually make these things like if you want 4 of them, just like this. You could do that. You could stick a couple more on the top if you really wanted to. That may look pretty weird. I've got one in an L shape across the hill here. So let me go ahead and jump on my wonderful steed here, and let's go take a look at it. Let me get my rein here, my lead. There we go. And I actually got 2 horses. One is a donkey, and one is this interesting and awesome gray horse, which actually is really fast. But I don't know what to name them yet. Oh yeah, be really careful of the freaking creepers. They are the death of these kind of houses. So I'll have to probably duck in somewhere or kill some things real quick. Oh jeez, he's right behind me. There we go. And I still got to light this up a little bit better, but it's not too bad. So here it is, a 3 mushroomed house with an acacia growing right out the middle. It's very nice. I went and decorated it a bit, threw in a nice garden, and it's got some interesting external decor. These little water puddles are good for when you want to make potions and stuff, having that real close by. And it's all rose bushed and regular bushed, a whole bunch of different ferns all over the place. Got a nice a whole bunch of flowers right here. That was pretty much natural growing there. And I got some pumpkin lanterns to light it up out here a little bit, so I don't have to have that many torches outside. And yeah, it looks really good on the outside. You got a couple spots to hook up the horses. So let's look at the inside of this thing. Probably gonna move in here soon. Yeah. It's an interesting floor. Somehow the acacia wood manages to make this gravel look fairly decent. But if I tried just the gravel with acacia, like if this was a piece of gravel, it didn't quite look right. But if it was checkerboarded, it seemed to look pretty neat to me. It works. Even got an inside little fern here. It's my potted plant that's actually large. And I got a little tree sitting up there. And how I grew that tree up top there is right here where that little pot is. I had a piece of dirt and I put a sapling right on top of it and grew it. And some of them were way too tall, some of them not. But I think this was like my 4th try, and it turned out about that size. And it turned out pretty good. So got a bunch of chests in here. Some of those are trap chests, just so I can get them next to each other. And this here is the standard old auto furnace, basically. Throw your stuff you want to burn in there. The fuel here, it'll automatically spew it all in here, and your output will be in this thing right there. It's fairly simple. Slightly modified, but not by a lot. It's just got a hopper underneath this thing. It's pretty easy. I got a little bit of a basement down here too. It's not real big, but it's just the same size as the upstairs. but it works. I was experimenting right here with making it feel like you had a taller ceiling than what you'd normally be able to pull off with gravel, because that stuff falls. um, I think it works. Maybe not really well, but it still works somehow. And I managed to end up putting this place right on top of a lava lake, so extra fuel for the furnace, I suppose. It'll do the trick. Well, so, hope you enjoyed my house. Sometime soon it'll get daytime, but that's probably going to be it for today. Let me run back to my other place real quick. I had some other things I was doing here. I'll just show real briefly. I've been getting resources and stuff together for projects of various sorts, and that basically requires some kind of mine shaft downstairs. And I also got this nether portal ready so I can go back to the world hub if I want. But this particular entrance to the mine shaft turned out really neat, especially when the game decides not to lag. That's just the way it goes with horses. But it's actually much more interesting going upstairs than it is downstairs. I just hop off my horse and string him up here. And you have a very interesting view here. You can't really see really far all at once. And as you go upstairs, your view just kind of gets further and further and further until finally you can see the whole way. It's really interesting. But this particular staircase is specifically designed to look awesome and allow me to take my horses straight down to level, I think this is 13 or 11 I'm standing on. 11. Okay. That works. And, well, I hope you enjoyed. And catch me next time. I'm going to work on some other interesting projects. This particular LP on the server is mostly going to be used for interesting builds and mechanisms. Especially once 1.8 hits, I'm going to be going hog wild on the mechanisms end probably. But, you know, come by for some good builds. Catch you later. Have fun.